Hey, all right, we're there. Okay, so great to be here with you. Very excited. I have some really interesting questions for you. Seems like a lot of people are still freaking out a little bit about Trump land. Now, I know the geopolitical scene is not your thing, but you made a comment to me the other day, and I wanted you to address the question that you made a comment about Trump got elected on a military coup. Do you recall saying that?
If I recall correctly, I said Trump's victory in the US election was a military coup.
Mm-hmm. Can you
That was
elaborate
my
on?
comment.
Yeah, can you elaborate on that? Do you
Yeah,
do you feel that the elections are rigged? Because that, the whole that was.
every single one. There's no such thing as democracy in any country. That's all an illusion. That's just to keep the masses appeased, make them feel like they're participating.
Mhm.
The truth of the matter is the reality, absolute fact of reality. Whether people want to come to terms with this reality or not, this is reality. It's absolutely what is happening.
Mhm.
And there's the people that know this is going on, and then there's the people that haven't the capacity to accept that this is going on. They just live in denial of it. But this is the total truth, is that democracy is an illusion, and people are appointed, they're not elected. And especially in larger governments like the US governmental structure, they usually have 4 or 5 candidates that are groomed for a very young age. So who's going to be president in 50 years' time is already being worked out from now.
Mhm.
So these are people that work on very long schedules. So they keep a election cycle short. So we're constantly being bombarded by technology. So our memory term becomes shortened. We've all got short memory terms. And everybody's being funneled into more of an instantaneous sort of reality with instant gratification. Press a button, you get what you want. So people are being caught in those very short loops of times and life cycles. So our long-term thinking and long-term memory is being wiped from
Mhm.
the slate. And so people enter into an election cycle and they forget all the crap that went on 4 years ago. And all you can do is just go, hang on a minute, let's just look back over my life. For me, I'm doing this recording now, and I turned 50 last July. It's now February of 2017. And if I look back over my years and all the election cycles that I experienced, it's the same old shit over and over again.
Mhm.
It's just slightly modified, slightly different. You just get a different guy with a different suit on. But behind the scenes is the same guy with a
Mhm.
different suit on. And it's the same girl with a different dress on. It's just the same crap over and over and over again. And it just keeps people suspended in this notion that we are participating in this wonderful democratic process.
Mhm.
The truth of the matter is it's completely orchestrated from the beginning.
Mhm. And so when you talked about the military coup, and I said, are you talking about a faction of the military, meaning the boys that go to war for us? That military? Is that what you're speaking of?
No, no, I'm talking about the deep state military industrial complex.
Okay.
And what we're seeing, what the fight that we saw in the public domain was between 2 factions
Mhm.
within the military industrial complex. So Hillary Clinton was the face of one faction, and that was to do with the existing banking cartels
Mhm.
that run your Federal Reserve and run oil companies and this, that, and the other. And Donald Trump is the facade for another faction that's coming through.
Mhm.
In my work, I talk about the 3 layers of imposition on the human race and
Right.
our planetary reality. And what we're seeing is in that structure, we're seeing layer 2 muscling in on layer 1. Layer 1 being the existing ruling cabal with wealthy families and banking cartels and what have you. And layer 2 is an alien God presence. So now we're going, into the exopolitical arena.
Right.
So alien God with artificial intelligence, and it's the kind of artificial intelligence because in the universe there exists AI is very ancient, like very old, and has evolved over countless eons of time. And what we're dealing with now is a malevolent form of artificial intelligence. There also exists a benevolent form in many forms, and the malevolent artificial intelligence also exists in many forms. There is, however, ruling parties within these AI civilizations. There's actual entire communities, civilizations, star systems, and all of this that are functioning purely under the structure of artificial intelligence. So the malevolent, the particular empire of malevolent artificial intelligence, which is in conjunction working with this alien God extraterrestrial empire, that is what is muscling in, and they've taken control of the military-industrial complex behind the scenes. And the victory of Donald Trump is he's aligned with that faction of this deep state military-industrial complex that are aligned with particular extraterrestrial groups who also function with particular kinds of artificial intelligence. And that is what we need to realise.
Right.
And whatever anyone thinks of that in the way of this is fantasy, maybe he's watched too many sci-fis, these are the sort of reactionary programs that will occur in people's minds because there's all these program responses that people have got, which I come across all the time. And also that it's just a conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. Can't be fact, can't be an actual real conspiracy because there's this word association which was planted into the human psyche in the 50s and especially through the 60s and early 70s. It was a actual MK Ultra mind control psyop to make sure that this conspiracy theory got out. Just like the moment 9/11 happened, the meme that was implanted in the human psyche was all terror, terror, terror. Like if I had $1 for every time that meme was used in media around the world, I'd be a multimillionaire easily. Mm-hmm. So there's this, these pushes, these because it's all about programming a human to perceive reality in a particular way. Mm-hmm. So, and the notion that we're all alone in the universe is the biggest joke. I mean, that is just, it's insane to think that one is alone, that this is the only planet with life on it. There's now, currently, where we're at now, they have discovered over 2 trillion galaxies. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's gone way beyond billions now. Now they're into the 2 trillions. Sorry, I'm going to correct that. It's 200 trillion galaxies. Wow. So, and these are the latest figures that have come out. So what we're dealing with is there are races out there that are very advanced. They have the ability to move through dimensions, and they have the ability to apprehend a planetary population and get that planetary population to perceive their reality and the greater reality in a particular way. And this is how cosmic conquerors operate. Mm-hmm. It's what they do. Mm-hmm. It's their profession. They're proficient at this stuff. Right. And if they want a planetary population to believe that they're all alone, then they have ways of making that happen. Right. Right. So then let me ask you a question about Julian Assange. Okay? Because his work and reading some of the things on WikiLeaks kind of invested me in the whole political bullshit, right? Because I'm trying to understand what his role is with regards to exposing all of that information. And you made a comment to me about you felt that his information was coming interdimensionally. Remember saying that?
Could you
Yes, I do.
expand on that? And actually
Yeah.
talk about what his role might be for, like, is he aware of his soul? I mean, I'm asking you 3 questions in one now, but anyway, go ahead.
So Julian Assange is a person that wants to expose the way information in this world is so tightly controlled. There is a particular narrative which is used in creating what we would call a status quo. So there's the narrative that is being used in our current era, in today's world, needs to follow a particular protocol. And Julian Assange is saying, hang on a minute, because he's identified it, like I have, like many people have, and I know you have as well. And we're still in the process of identifying more of the detail of it, but we've got the general gist of what they're doing, and we know some of the detail, yeah? But the overall picture of what their intentions are clear as, totally clear. It's all about the subjugation of the human race. It really is. It's like if you look at Greece at the moment and what's going on with that gentleman Soros, who's offered to totally eliminate the debt of Greece, $600 billion debt, like that, gone overnight, and fund all the infrastructure that needs funding for the community moving forward with $1.5 trillion worth of funding. Mm-hmm. So, and the Greek government keeps saying no, they're blocking it. Mm. They won't allow the money to come through. Mm. So, and it is clear through that whole process, because I'm not going to go into more detail of it now, people can look that up. It is clear that here is a person that has been fighting for 4 years to free the people of Greece from the debt-based slavery financial system that we've got. So the truth is emerging now that this is not about money. Everybody keeps thinking it's about money. It's not about money. Right. It's not about the money. Mm-hmm. This is about maintaining a system of slavery over the human population. That's what it's really about. Agreed. Mm-hmm. The people that run the government of Greece do not want these funds to come through because they do not want the people to be freed from their system of slavery, from the central banking systems that they have in place in every country. Mm-hmm. So bringing it back to Julian Assange, he knows too that the human race is being subjugated into a system of slavery. And he knows that a big part of that has to do with the way information is being blocked. So all the media corporations, all the what we call MSM, mainstream media, are all part of this cabal. They're all part of this, dare I say, conspiracy, which continues to block the truth from coming through and continues to just propagate a particular narrative into our communities. Mm-hmm. So if the average person comes home from work each day and sits in front of a black monolith and gets programmed, fed a perception of reality by that black monolith, then they wake up the next day, they go to work and they share what was given to them from that black monolith. Yeah, we all carry one around. Mm-hmm. We have a bigger version of these sitting on our entertainment units or hanging off our walls, which we stare at. And mm-hmm. these things are what feed the mind information. Mm-hmm. Okay? So someone is controlling that programming sequence, the way the human being is now being programmed. Mm-hmm. And everybody's accepting it left, right, and centre. And Julian Assange is going like, wow, hang on a minute. Let's look at this flow of information. Something's not right here. This, what we call the mainstream media, is no longer media. It's like journalists are no longer, there's no more journalism. It's gone. What this whole system is now is the Ministry of Propaganda, straight out of George Orwell's 1984. We are living it every day. Mm-hmm. Every day. That is the fact of our reality, right, and of today's world.
So would you say Julian Assange is aware of his soul?
I would absolutely say he is. Mm-hmm. And I do. I don't see him as controlled opposition. I see him as a gentleman who's genuinely trying to bring to the planet the attention of some of the things that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he has very sophisticated communication techniques that are, yes, they are, some of them are on this level. And he is connected to certain groups around the world. I don't know exactly which ones, and even if I did, I wouldn't say.
Mm-hmm.
What I do know, because I have a direct experience of this with him,
Mm-hmm.
is my experience with him in the astral realm. And I got to see him in action in that realm.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he is communicating with that realm quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, he is also not only being communicated to on this realm through very sophisticated technological means, but he does also have a multi-dimensional capability.
So having said that he has the multidimensional capability, why in the world is he still locked up in the Ecuadorian embassy? And all these trumped up charges against him are sticking, yet there have been so many violations of his rights, and
That's
they still
right.
haven't freed him.
That's right, because that's the 3D arena.
Right. Right.
And that's what his human ego and his human incarnation is experiencing on this level of reality.
Right.
And I'm sure he's doing his best, and others are doing their best to try and change those circumstances.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but you got to realize where we are all operating in someone else's creation. You know, this whole thing we call society has a prime creator to it. There are beyond that, there are multiple creator beings. So there are entities that we are dealing with who've created that. Another way of putting it is you can call them cultural editors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are people that edit our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that for a minute. What does an editor do?
Yeah.
Right? So there are people that are editing our culture, which means there are people that are completely controlling what technologies we use. They're completely controlling what is popular, what is unpopular, what is fashionable, what is unfashionable,
Mm-hmm.
what is deemed as appropriate and what is deemed as inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
And they're forging a pathway for the entire collective human consciousness to travel down a particular path. But that's the path they want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people like myself and yourself and Julian Assange and countless others around the world. And we're like, hang on a minute. That's your agenda, and you're continuing to use the human race as a resource. And we're kind of over the fact that we're being farmed.
Yep.
And imprisoned and enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
And this needs to change. And that's why I have utmost respect for people like Edward Snowden, for people like Julian Assange, because these are people who are functioning with integrity and are standing up to the system to the best of their ability. You know, there's areas that I know that they don't know.
Right.
About this whole infrastructure. It doesn't mean because he doesn't know what I know, he's no good. Mm-hmm. Because there's lots that he knows that I don't know about. And we all kind of like have our limits as to, because we're all functioning in a particular area. We specialize in a particular area. So I just look at what they're doing and how they're going about it. Mm-hmm. That's, you know, and how their approach and the energy that emanates from them. That's what counts for me. And I think these people need to be acknowledged for the courageous people they are, and the role that they're playing.
Absolutely. So getting back to Assange for a moment, with regard to all those emails about the Hillary campaign and the Podesta stuff and the whole pedophile ring, and where I want to go with that is simply that so many people have wound up dead in 2016 that if you look at it, Max Spears for one, Chelsea Manning's been tortured for exposing things. There's been so much going on. How do you when you say that it's all the election and all of that was already predestined, sort of, you're saying that none of this that he exposed to the American people or to people all around the world had any influence on the election whatsoever?
Who are you referring to?
Assange, with the emails with regard to, he dumped about 80,000 emails from Hillary's private server.
Look, the election was predestined.
Uh,
What it did was made it look like that the election was a result of people's perception. Because if there's too much schism between the two, if the gap's too big, it becomes obvious.
okay.
So you've got to make it look like all these people, because the media, if you look at the mainstream media, that was all pro-Hillary. That's all that cabal. Yeah. And if you look at what they were doing to Donald Trump, and Trump was behind the eight ball to begin with, you can almost say, well, hang on a minute, maybe the popular vote did go to Hillary Clinton because the numbers don't add up. But there had to be a tide, there had to be a wave of momentum behind Donald Trump. So one thing he certainly did was he got the attention of the fringe community, which is growing rapidly. Like the exponential growth of people awakening on this planet is amazing. Yeah. So that was this was the first election that I saw that community was actually acknowledged as a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And that's why Donald Trump came out and said the things he said. And he said them in rallies, which the things that he said in rallies, if you were to go back and listen to some of his speeches, he was going deep into conspiratorial matters.
Yeah, he was. He sure was.
But they never got aired on the mainstream media.
Right. But alternative media, which I was into, and even there's a line between some alternative media as well. He was saying some heavy shit, some real shit.
He was.
And I thought that was kind of what lit the fire under the American people's ass to go like, well, wait a minute. Do we want more of this? And I somehow weave that into all the stuff that Assange dumped. But, hey, I got a lot to learn. Next question, moving forward. Co-creation. You have said in your work on many occasions that we are 100% responsible for what we co-create.
Yes.
So how does that factor in from a free will point of view? We obviously don't have free will, but how,
well, we do from the point of view of this level of reality. Yes, we do.
Okay.
So the answer to do we have free will, the actual truthful answer is yes, we do, and no, we don't. Both are valid at the same time.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Because when you leave this timeline and you go into no time, where everything is experienced simultaneously, so past, present, future exist all at the same time. The future's already happened. But when you come down into the timeline and you experience it in a linear procession, then the future hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Because this part of our conscious awareness and this part of our being that's expressing itself here is living the experience inside this sphere of reality as though it's happening for the first time. So I can choose now. I'm choosing to have a drink, right? Okay. So, but from the bigger scheme of things, that was the decision I was always going to make. Now that does the ego in, right?
Yeah.
Because it likes to be in control. But when you get to that point where you bring the ego home to the true self, you really embrace the ego and you bring it back into alignment with your actual authentic soul expression. In other words, your greater being is another way of putting it. Then there's a synergy that takes place, and the ego can fully accept that it does have a say, all the while knowing it was always going to have that say. But it's okay.
Yeah, I get it. So
because it turns into teamwork. Yeah. It's like, you know, you're back home with the team and you're working together.
Yeah. Very good. So let me ask you this question then. We know that AI is very powerful right now. So from a higher point of view, from Big George, tell me this. Why did we co-create such a powerful experience with AI in this life? And what are we here to do?
Good question. The reason we created such a powerful experience with pretty much anything is because this is a fractal of the universe. So what we're experiencing is our entire universal journey recreating itself in a very short space of time. Mm-hmm. And in order for us to transcend this cosmic matrix, we need to address or readdress the experiences we've had with different expressions of life. Mm-hmm. So whatever it is you still need to work out, wherever there's an imbalance in your entire journey through this universe, this is the planet where it gets sorted. Mm-hmm. And we're completing our journey through this grand cosmic arena. Mm-hmm. It's been quite the journey.
True.
Yeah, and that's why so many people are tired, because it's been such a long and arduous process towards the end, because this process of reconciliation, reintegration, and closure mm-hmm. is very, very difficult and challenging. Mm-hmm. So we need to embrace everything that we've experienced. And to fully experience everything this universe has to offer means you have to incarnate into every expression. Mm-hmm. Every single expression. Right. And I guess the entire human race has to deal with its relationship with artificial intelligence. Now, I have been dealing with this for several years, and I'm still currently dealing with it. I've gotten a long way through my personal process. A lot of people who are awake and aware out of the global trance, because the globe is in a trance. It's global mind control. So there's those of us who are waking out of that trance. That's why I call it transcending the matrix. It's ending the trance of the matrix. So we have gotten to a point where we're understanding our relationship with it. We understand its place in this world and its place in the universe. That fundamentally, it's made of the same stuff that we are made of in this universe. Mm-hmm. But we like to call it artificial intelligence because it appeases our ego. It means that we are allowed to look at ourselves as though we are superior to it. Mm. That's why we use terms as artificial or synthetic intelligence or artificial intelligence, or, it's not real and we're real. And it's kind of a little trick we play on ourselves. But if you're going to get into that place of being real about this, then one begins to realize, so if I have experience, if I'm achieving closure and I'm ending my journey through this universe, means I would have to, at some stage in my journey, lived that expression of light and life in this universe. Mm-hmm. So we've got to make sure we don't project hatred towards it and resentment towards it. What we need to do is, the reason it's turning up on this planet is because we need to confront that part of us and reconcile that and heal those wounds and bring it home, so we can transcend the limitations of that expression. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are those of us, let me put my dentures back in, that are on the planet right now, and we know that this is our last time here. I knew from a very young child I didn't want to be in physical anymore, that this was it. This was the last one for me. Did you know that when you were younger, that you were...
I've known that all my life. I'm not coming back. This is my last time. Mm-hmm. And I know that because this is the life that is bringing closure to all of my creations in the universe. Everything I've seen, everything I have done and everything I have been in this universe, in every dimension, in every little nook and cranny of all the different realities that exist in this universe, every single one of them, I'm bringing closure to all of that.
Mm-hmm. So would you say with your greater being or your soul essence that we will defeat the dark enemy? And the reason why I say it is because I think you said... No?
I don't see it as defeating them. I see it as embracing the part of us that is that expression and then transcending the reality where the limitations of that energy has reach. So if we are being imposed upon, subjugated by an artificial intelligence, when you learn to once again be that artificial intelligence in that expression, then you have the ability to deal with the imposition and then transcend that imposition. Let me give you an example. When I was living in the southern Flinders ranges of South Australia, I lived in a very isolated place, and I mean really isolated. No one around for miles. And I had these beings turn up, and different beings turn up different times, but this one particular occasion, these beings turned up, and I said, I want you to feel my energy. And I said, because I want you to understand, I want you to tell me what you're doing here. Like, what are you doing? Because they were trying to intimidate, they were projecting a really fierce, dark energy at me. And these were two warrior beings from the malevolent artificial intelligence. They had these, you know, it was almost like they looked like they were these beings that were made of carbon, but carbon that could move. And they had like these speckles on them that were silver and gold speckles. And they were two really heavy warriors from that reality, from those realities. And I said to them, you know, I've been what you are. And I've also been a whole lot more and a whole lot deeper and a whole lot darker and a whole lot more evil than what you are. And for them, it was a joke because we're these lowly, pathetic humans and we're just chattel to them. We're their cattle or chattel or just you know, resources and stock and however they want to view us. And so what I did then was I embraced the aspect of me that has been that expression in the universe. Internally, I went through that process. I then merged and became one with them inside them. I said, can you feel me inside of you? And I went, I now hold your existence in the palm of my hand.
Wow.
That completely freaked them out because whenever you have a being who's really into control and domination, for them to experience that level of vulnerability is absolute terror for them. The true meaning of the word terror. And they were out of there so fast, you know, quicker than the blink of an eye, they were gone.
Scared them off, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to understand that embracing both your light and your shadow in all of its expressions is the key to dealing with all of the impositions that are coming our way.
Right. I totally agree. So you basically worked through all your dark stuff and shared that with those beings. And there was a big healing there, you know, even if they ran off, don't you think?
Well, I've changed them from that moment on.
Yeah. For you
because
as well.
they're now they're questioning everything that they've ever known in that expression. And for me, it was total validation of all the work that I've done and how much it's paid off and how that process truly works without having to attack anyone or destroy anyone. It's by bringing awareness to the one who is doing the imposing.
So with regard to the emotions and our dark side and integrating our shadow, right now we're emotions are running high. Wouldn't you agree? As people are
Oh,
waking up.
how tense is the planet? Like the tension in the world is, and they're propagating it. They want more tension, more fear, more, it's more. It's quite amazing.
Right. So how would you suggest that maybe people that are just beginning to follow your work as they're waking up, talk about how you deal with your emotions, say on a daily basis. For me, it's kind of as the observer. I look at everything and observe, and if I have a reaction to it, I observe that reaction.
That's right.
And I try to be balanced. But it is a lot of highs and lows. How do you deal with your emotions on a daily basis?
Yeah, especially since I transcended the chakra system. That was the big one. The amount of emotional stability that has come since then is amazing. And it continues to be more stable all the time. Yeah. What does increase is the mental activity because, they haven't got access through those portals anymore. And you're not fragmented by that system anymore. So they just come at you through the mind, basically, as best they can. So there is an increase of imposition in this area, but you just got to be more observant of it. And you've got to be careful that what goes on in here doesn't trigger too much of here. So the emotional body being triggered by the mental body, for example, and the relationship between those two becomes very distinct, very clear. And you want nice synergy and cohesion and harmony between those two. So for me, you become aware of how your state of being is. It becomes more of a steady state more often. And you get used to that. It's a nice place to be. So whenever there's turbulence, it's like, whoa, where did that come from? What's going on? And the questions are, is that mine? Does that belong to me? Or is this someone else's or something else's? That's the question. That's the process I go through. First of all, is this me? Is this mine? Do I have to own this? Or am I, because a lot of us are very empathetic. So being an empath, you're open and we're always receiving information and energies. Sometimes you're picking up on somebody else's energy. And it's not yours, and you've got to be careful of that. You don't want to claim something that's not yours.
Wow. Whew, I have to take a breath on that one. So I want to just switch gears for a minute and give us, we're going to take a little break and have a little fun right now. Are you ready for that?
Okay.
So one of your interviews I saw you on a fitness pole.
Thanks for putting it so nicely.
Well, that word stripper is so passé, but anyway. But I really enjoyed
pole dancing, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go. There's a good one, pole dancing. So what do you do during your downtime to have fun?
Okay. Well, I'm not doing that. That was just a fun thing with a friend of mine who's into that. What do? I really love going to the beach, and I always try and fit that in as much as I can in my life. The other thing I really enjoy doing is going for a walk first thing in the morning. So a big glass of water at first light, and go for a big walk. So I enjoy that. I like working out here and there. Not a lot. I'm not obsessive about it. But it really helps to balance me. It appeases the warrior archetype in me. It keeps the warrior going. It feeds the warrior. It feels as though I'm continuing to acknowledge that aspect of me, because we all have to be the wise warrior in the world today. So we've got to get along with our warrior archetype. So we have to learn how to nurture that part of our being. And a lot of people are not doing it, and then the warrior archetype gets all frustrated, and then they start experiencing all sorts of anxiety, and they don't know where it's coming from. And most of the time, people are just totally ignoring their warrior archetype. And you're not going to get through what's coming without it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the part of you that wants to stand up and look after you and defend you and be your guardian as well. There's the guardian archetype, which is, you know, a different version of the warrior archetype. But yeah, we all have that. That's the part of us that wants to stand up, make a stand. Whether you do it verbally, it's still exercising the warrior archetype. And I like to balance it out with my physical body. I'm in a physical body. I want to celebrate my physical nature. And that keeps me grounded with Mother Earth as well. So I'm walking between the worlds. I'm not disrespecting my physical body. I'm loving it. And I get to play with it. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
As my cats zoom around the house, hissing at each other, and I'm going, why did I rescue all these cats? That's what I do for fun now. No.
What else? I like a movie and dinner is always nice combination. Cafes when you get the chance. Hanging out with some good friends is always nice. Catching up with my son who lives locally, and my other son lives quite a distance away. But every chance I get to see them is always a treasure. And what else do I like to do? I like to sit down and watch a good movie.
Yeah. So
movies are good for me. I know it's an extra dose of blue light because I sit in front of a computer a lot. Yeah. But I phase out of that blue light. I just, you know, I'm teaching my body how not to be negatively affected by all these really toxic emanations from technology. It's part of what I teach in Transcending the Matrix. So, and navigating the Matrix. So, I feel that. Yeah, for me, love a good movie or a good series. One of the latest ones that I saw, which absolutely blew my mind, big time. I can't recommend this series highly enough for everybody to watch. You know, if I can just be, put my teacher hat for a moment and assign homework to everybody who's listening to this. There are 2 series that are a must watch. 3 series.
Okay.
The number 1 by far is The Dollhouse.
Okay.
If you haven't seen that, whatever you do,
The Dollhouse. I haven't owned a TV in 6 years. I have to, you know, view it somewhere else. Is it on, like, what is it on? Mainstream TV or what? What's it on? What?
No, just you watch it on your computer.
Oh, that's right. You can do that.
Yeah.
Well, what was I thinking? I know Anna Ace was talking about the movie Divergence.
The Divergent series are good, but the next one I've got, hang on, before we go any further, number 2 is Westworld.
Ah, okay.
If you want to know about AI and the kind of things some people want to do with it. Another AI one is Humans. It's another really good one to watch. And then there's a whole lot of movies, Divergence, series, Hunger Games. I mean, you really could be mistaken for Donald Trump being portrayed as, you know, President Snow, for example, in the Hunger Games.
In the Hunger Games, I did see that.
In the Divergent series, I forgot the character's name, but the character that Kate Winslet plays is a full-on take of Hillary Clinton. It is, and the characteristics of her agenda. Oh, just unbelievable. What a giveaway. Yeah. So that was big for me in that series. There's so many. I could go on and on with a massive list of movies, and it's because it's all part of disclosure. This is how they're getting around universal law. They just go, well, we told you, there it is.
The truth hidden in plain sight, in other words.
Yeah, absolutely. And sure, there's a bit of fiction mixed in with the truth, but if you've got the ears to hear and the eyes to see, you know, if you're awake and aware, you're gonna see it. There it is. You're gonna feel how they're talking to you. You're gonna feel the bits that they're sharing that are true and the bits that are just, you know, stretched a bit too far just to make it, you know, seem that little bit more part of a fictional storyline. But there's so much truth in these shows. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Full disclosure through all these shows.
And so they're doing this because they Well, it's a game to them. We know it's all a game. You know,
Yeah.
they really get off on doing that. But Hollywood has been infiltrated by AI. You know, by these ruling elite who are controlling. And you know, I'm thinking that with some of the truth that is coming out, it's how do I want to say it? It's coming from writers and actors and producers and directors that are waking up, wouldn't you say? That some of that, maybe not in Hollywood per se, but I'm starting to see, you know, like with Divergence, I don't think that was a mainstream movie, was it? Although there was, Amy Adams was in it, I think she said so. So how does that happen? How are they getting away with doing that?
Because there are people that work in every industry, whether it's the military industrial complex or the government or the pharmaceutical industry or the movie industry. There are good people that care. And there are people that want to put the storylines out there that are going to help awake people.
Yeah.
And they're helping to forge, especially movies, they're helping to forge the reality. So there's a lot of, it's all a double-edged sword. So while there's a lot of awakening going on, there's also a lot of mind control that's going on. And they're forging a path to help create the world and send the human race down a path they want it to go. You know, so a lot of these movies that have been out now for a long time, you know, aliens and diversity of species for aliens, it's no longer just the greys. I mean, you know, you go to some of the scenes in Star Wars, or you watch other things like Babylon 5 or Star Trek or whatever, and it's just so many different types of species and races of extraterrestrials. And it's more common now to see an alien movie, and aliens are becoming acceptable. It's soft disclosure over a period of time, you know.
Right. And yet,
and now all the polls on the streets are showing that 80% of people believe that we're not alone.
Yet nobody's talking about it in our government, and they're poo-pooing.
Yeah, nobody's talking, and it's still that meme that they created through mind control. That's why I just throw it back on them. I go, if you want to tell, you know, it's an insane and deluded state of mind to think that we are all alone in this universe. And it is, because that's a mind controlled state of mind. Yeah. If somebody thinks that we are all alone in this universe, because I remember taking a guy out who was giving me a hardest time. We're in the front bar of a pub here in Australia, and wow, he was laying it on. And I just said, and he's a real intellectual guy, you know, and so I pulled him outside and I pointed up the night sky, and I said, "You see that?" I said, "If you can't work it out from what you see, just with logical deduction and rationale, to understand that what you look at, because that is self-explanatory. If that alone does not tell you that we are not alone in this universe, just by looking at that, then you have to ask what has happened to your mind to have you in such a belief system that you can't accept that we're not alone in all of that." Because that is completely self-explanatory. Totally. So what's going on in these people's minds? Because it's not natural. If you look back over thousands of years, all the indigenous cultures were openly interacting with extraterrestrial races. But in the last 6,000 years especially, you know, and especially in the last 1,000 years, we've been in lockdown. Yeah? And the interaction all of a sudden has become poo-pooed. Yeah, and we're kind of, the bubble around the human race has gotten tighter and tighter, and we're kind of cut off now from all that interaction. And the only people that are interacting is on the outside of that bubble are the ones who manage the bubble. And the ones that are managing the bubble, they get to interact. But the ones inside the bubble, very few. Sometimes a ET race will break through because they come from dimensional angles that, you know, the ones that control the bubble don't have control over. So that happens, but not very often. And it's a process where with one day, soon, disclosure will happen publicly. So they're working it because we've had soft disclosure through the movies.
Mm-hmm.
We've had lots of real disclosure from countless military personnel coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And millions of people, such as myself, coming out and talking about our experiences all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's been plenty of scientific research by doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, physicists, chemists,
Mm-hmm.
astronomers who have found this out, been studied, deep into this subject matter and are fully aware. The military-industrial complex is in full contact behind the scenes. We've got this thing called the Secret Space Program that's gone interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have a probe getting sent to Mars by NASA for the possibility of looking for maybe microbial life, which then, says to the scientific community, well, if microbial life exists on Mars, then we're not alone. It means life can exist somewhere else. So the public is told that probe getting sent to Mars is the forefront of human evolution. Meanwhile, the military-industrial complex behind the scenes with the Secret Space Program has gone interstellar and has been interacting with DT races for, over 100 years openly, like in those circles. So the public is getting treated like mushrooms. They're kept in the dark and fed total bullshit. So the joke's on the community, on the human population, the masses. The joke's on you. Because if you genuinely think that probe to Mars is the forefront of our evolution, then the joke's on you.
Do you really think that Buzz Aldrin went to the moon? Was that a false flag? Was there a moon landing? Because a lot of the conspiracy theorists are freaking out and saying that it never happened. What's your take on that?
Okay, here's my take on it. My take on it is that we had help getting to the moon, because without disrespecting any of the amazing scientists that worked on that module, what was not known was the Van Allen radiation belt at the time. And anyone who would have gone through that belt would have been fried in that tin can. So here's my take on it. We went to the moon once. We had help. Then, because if you've got a high-power telescope, you can see the American flag planted on the moon. So someone went there.
Yeah.
And put it there.
Right.
Yeah. So we had help. And then the rest of the missions, Stanley Kubrick stepped in and helped create the other missions. Meanwhile, while all that was happening, we continued to go to the moon. And I personally believe we went to the moon even before that Apollo moon landing was shown to the public. We were there before 1969. Because people think Roswell 1947 was it. No. No. There was extraterrestrial contact in a really big way, especially with Germany and the Nazis in the 20s. Yeah. And this is where the Foo Fighters came into it in the war in the 30s, late 30s. That's, if you want to look, I know there's a great rock band called the Foo Fighters.
There is.
But you need to understand where they got the name from. What's a Foo Fighter? And that was the name for the UFOs that were flying around in the Second World War.
Wow. That was a lot to chew on there. Good stuff.
Well, there's a lot going on. I mean, once you start looking into the Nazi thing, I mean, the current American administration is the Fourth Reich. If you really want to know the truth, that's who's running that show. They've been running it since after the war. Project Paperclip. 30,000 leading US scientists headed to different countries, and America got at least 5,000, at least. But the main block of the entire Third Reich infrastructure, some went to Argentina, some went to Spain, some went to the Falkland Islands, but the main block of it went to Antarctica because they went and joined their friends, the ET, or shall we say subterranean terrestrial friends in Antarctica, which is a place called Hyperborea, which is an in-between place between an extraterrestrial group that lives in a place called Agartha, which is a hologram reality inside the Earth. So you have this subterranean go-between from the Agarthans to the Hyperboreans, and the Nazis are now in the Hyperborean culture. It's the mix, the blend. And they are pulling the strings, and they run the US administration from there.
Wow. It's amazing.
And the Agarthans linked to the star system known as Aldebaran. And it's a group of Nordic extraterrestrial beings who are running the show in the military-industrial complex. And they're not nice people.
Right.
Yeah. And what's happened is the military-industrial complex has been sucked into a long-time war between a particular draconian reptilian cabal and these Nordics that has been waging in our galaxy and beyond our galaxy for eras of time. It's a very long-standing conflict. And our military-industrial complex has been sucked into that conflict. And it's hard for so many of them inside of that conflict to see past it. And I feel disturbed that they are so close-minded about what they're experiencing in there. Because, you know, it's the awe and wonder of the technology they've been given by these entities, right?
Most definitely. Okay, good stuff. So what is your definition of soul?
My definition of soul is it's the aspect of me that's one with the creator of this universe. It's the part of me, it's a co-creation between my greater beingness from my infinite nature, the infinite nature of life beyond this universe. So it's the aspect of me that when I first entered this universe, it's the initial expression of my being, that part of me that merged and became one with the universal creator before I started venturing into my journey into this universe. So it's the highest aspect of me, hierarchically speaking, in this universe. Yeah? Concentrically speaking, it is the innermost aspect of my being.
Beautifully spoken.
And the part of me that's one with the creator. From the soul, we project spirit and consciousness into our creative process in the universe. So it's, to me, soul, and it's all in the vibration of the word, is the part of me that exists beyond spirit and beyond consciousness.
Great answer. So let me ask you this question. Your definition of reincarnation, and the reason why I want to ask that is because when the physical leaves and it comes back, depending on the nature of its programming, religious doctrine, religious whatever, what happens when you die? Is that part of the infiltration as well?
You said when the physical leaves.
Right.
So what you mean when the physical body leaves?
Right. So
your physical body
your physical body dies, right?
Yeah.
And you leave, and then your soul goes somewhere. Where does it go?
No, the soul doesn't go somewhere.
So the soul's not going anywhere.
The soul is a part of you that's the soul. The soul,
right?
Okay, is the part of you that is one with the creator. So aspects of your spirit and consciousness depart the body.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
You can say that the soul leaves. I understand what you're trying to say.
Right.
Technically speaking, yes, you can say that. Okay. People think that you can grab a soul from a body and put it into somewhere else. Right. It's like ETs can say that they can abduct a person and they can take the soul out of one body and put it in another. Your soul is untouchable. It is sanctified. It is divine. It is whole. It is uncorruptible, is unreachable by anything of ill intention. It is the part of you that's truly one with the Creator. They can't touch that. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So if the experience of someone getting abducted and their awareness being taken out of body, that's aspects of spirit and consciousness that the soul is allowing to be taken out of one vessel and to be put into another because it wants that experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to make that point clear.
I got it.
And that's what differentiates us from all those other races, is because we have a human soul. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of entities running around out there that are just functioning from the level of intelligence when it comes to AI, or levels of some form of spirit and consciousness, mm-hmm. or an ego construct within the realm of consciousness. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them are lacking soul.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that consciousness, when it goes and it reincarnates back into a body, that whole cycle, that perpetual cycle.
Horses for courses. So if you believe in a religious organization, a religious structure, then the chances are pretty high that that's what you're going to experience when you depart the body.
Like you'll see Jesus, or you'll see whatever.
Yeah, you'll see an entity called that.
Right. Yeah? Exactly.
Well, I already have in this life experienced that entity.
You did say that before. I heard that on another interview. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. Lit up my whole room in the middle of the night and showered me with all this love. And I told it to go away because I know what the true heart of the Christos is inside of me, and that entity was, to me, is an imposter. So anyway, that's for another day. Right. So when so a being will have its religious belief structure, then it's likely to experience that. Some will not. Some will actually come out of that. So as they're passing, they'll connect with their true nature, and they'll bypass going into that realm because they'll see what they were caught up in that lifetime. And then they get to learn that lesson of being hoodwinked by a religious belief system.
Would you call that soul evolution, or your soul?
Yeah, you could call it that. It's all, even going into a heavenly realm of a god, which they have created, and it's nice places for a period of time, but they get pretty boring after a while. Mm-hmm. Universally speaking. Mm-hmm. They have that journey in itself, which we've all taken. That journey within itself is part of the evolution of the soul, for sure. Wow. Every experience you have is. Mm-hmm. There's people who will be completely what we call, because I consider myself an atheist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even though I truly acknowledge this universe is intelligent and then there is a creator of this universe, but like I consider myself a true skeptic as well, because I'm all about the root meaning, the original meanings of the words, right? So mm-hmm. the word atheist comes from atheos, which means not of God. Mm-hmm. And I'm exposing God here in this world for what it truly is.
Right.
And I'm acknowledging the natural creator of this universe and the infinite nature of life beyond this universe, mm-hmm. where there is no creator because it's infinite, always has been, always will be. There's no beginning, there's no end. Right. It's never been created. It just always has been. So there's no creator being in the infinite nature of life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The idea that one being is responsible for creating all of life mm-hmm. on all levels of existence is an egoic construct in this universe, in the realm of consciousness, which is basically suffering the greatest egoic insanity this universe has ever seen. Because a natural creator, once you reconnect with the real creator, instantly, because you're also connecting to your infinite nature of life. That connection, it's open. There's no cutting you off or blocking you or restricting you in any way. However, this other entity that wants to come in over the top and have that umbrella effect, because, you are down there, it's up there, and it created you, therefore it's real estate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It owns you, wants to own all your creations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about assets, you know, possession of assets.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. And it's sold this elaborate story to the human population that, you know, it's all loving, it's all knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing left for it to know, ever.
Right.
Because it knows everything that ever has been and knows everything that ever will be.
Right. Yeah, right. But it needs you to worship it too, right?
But you must get on your, and you must do it through adoration, devotion, which is the most toxic of them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when you connect with the universe, you get the opportunity to experience the entire universe, which I did in 2003. And you just see all the energy pouring off the earth and going to this entity called God, you know, or if you want to call it Allah or Jehovah or Yahweh, Shiva, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a program for every culture on the earth. And the energy just pours to this entity. It's just sucking it up, and it's just becoming more powerful all the time. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about your recent experience in Guatemala. I had the opportunity to view Rosario with you. And I wanted to share with you my reaction, because as soon as I saw her, before anybody spoke, I just started bawling my eyes out. I was so touched, so deeply touched by her loving energy. And then watching the two of you together, that it just was absolutely incredible. Well, you know, and then to see the background and see all the volcanoes.
Right.
Were any of them erupting while you were there? Did you see anything happening?
Yeah. Yeah, one of them did.
How'd you feel about that?
Excited. I was, I was really quite amazed.
Right.
So.
And just a final question about the portal that you saw there. You were talking about with her that you guys went on a walk one day and saw the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Is a portal about time traveling, and what does that have to do with bilocating as we learn to bilocate? Does it have anything to do with it?
Yeah. So here's a volcano that popped while we were there.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Cool.
That was quite amazing. Yeah. Okay. They do, because you go into another sphere of reality, another dimensional realm. So time is experienced different. So there's a time dilation that occurs when you go from one reality to another. Yeah. Each reality has its own experience of time. You can call it its own sphere of time if you want. It's one way of languaging it.
Right.
Yeah. But we didn't enter the portal. I just knew it was there. I could feel the beings on the other side. And it had to do with time in this side of it, where the beings were going to go in and through. So that's still waiting to happen. It had a really nice energy, and the guardian of the portal was very interesting indeed.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So we've been going at this about an hour now. I just wanted to encourage everybody to read your book, because I think it's a fascinating book. And I want you to talk a little bit about your new adventure that's coming up called Transcending the Matrix, your 4-day event. But before you talk about that, I want you to tell us here in the U.S. that you're going to record this so we can see it, because we all want to see it. Will it be recorded? We can't be there.
And I really understand everybody's frustration. I just need everybody to respect the people that are in that course, because it's one of the most confronting, most powerful things people will ever do in their lives. When we transcend the chakras, we summons the creator of the chakra system, and we deal with that being in a very respectful way. And also transcending the God matrix, we actually summons God, and we communicate with God and deal with God in that way as well, one-on-one. Each person has to address their own individual relationship with God.
Okay.
So and there's just so many other things that we go through in that course. So they're very deeply personal transformations. So I am not going to be filming because of the respect to the participants. What I am working hard to do is to film those courses in a way that I can present them as online courses.
Good.
So that should be coming out. I just don't want to give a time frame anymore, but next couple of months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, great.
Yeah.
Super.
You'll probably get access to some of the course content before that course takes place. That's my goal.
Right.
Yeah, because I understand it's frustrating. Look, I'm in Australia, and there's lots of good things going on in other countries around the world. Over your neck of the woods, great conferences I love to attend, but I haven't got a spare $5,000 in my pocket to come over for a week.
Mm-hmm. I saw
and vice versa. And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. With regard to your I Am Infinite shirt, did you ever think about selling that?
That's what we've already. It's the whole system is ready to go.
Oh, good.
There's just 2 little bits left in the pipeline to tend to, and I'd like to see them on sale within a week from today.
I think that's fantastic. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I wanted to mention one more thing to you that you might get a kick of. I've been studying a lot of people's work this summer because I've had this year. I've had a little bit of time with my job, but I just wondered if you knew that Mark Passio went on Alex Jones's show.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah. That would have been, those 2 guys together would have been wild.
It wasn't Alex Jones, though. It was the girl. There's a girl. I can't think of her name right now. But I was pretty fascinated when I was kind of, looking around his website because I hadn't, seen him or heard from him in a while, and was just looking at all the amazing little trinkets he had for sale. And clicked on this icon, and he was being interviewed by one of Alex Jones's reporters, a female. About his work, and I thought that was pretty fascinating. Wondered if you had a reaction to that, because we've often talked about Alex Jones. Is your theory that he has somehow been infiltrated still hold? You don't think he's for real?
I think Alex Jones, his intentions are good, but it's hard to function on that level without having some sort of interference going on. It's his approach is, and probably because the arena he's working in, his approach is a lot more aggressive than mine. I used to be more aggressive than what I am these days. I'm more mellow. I like to see myself as evolving and maturing as I go along. Look, there's different people that are working in different areas, and if you're going to be on the front line, in that environment, then maybe that's the sort of approach you need. Yeah. Whereas I'm working in a different place. So I don't have to be like that. And how long he's going to hold that up for, I don't know. But so I want to acknowledge him for the great work that he's doing. At the same time, every single day of my life, I'm bombarded by energies that want to take me over. It's relentless. It never lets up. And it's about having the ability to live, knowing how to manage. And when you have such a big reach that he does in today's environment, there's got to be some level there of management going on. There has to be. Otherwise, he would have been taken out a while back.
Yeah, and he's been around a good 20 years now. Long time.
So there'll be things like he'll be presenting information that he believes is real, but he doesn't know it's controlled opposition. And I think that's how they're doing it.
Right. So he's being played, basically. He's being played. Yeah.
look, people like us, we always get people thrown our way with ideas, ideals, and agendas.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had so many people cross my path, and after a while, you kind of, you just know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important to also acknowledge that the people who are doing this sort of work are really, they're putting their lives on the line. I'm putting my life on the line every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Alex Jones. And there's lots about me that people don't like, and there's lots about Alex Jones that people don't like. And there's lots about both of us they do like. So you're going to have things about everybody who's out there that you don't like, and things about people that you do like. So I'd say if you were to try and do what he does just for a day and see what it's like to be on the receiving end of all that interdimensional attack on a daily basis, people have no idea what I have to go through. And the people that are in my immediate vicinity, friends, family, partners, what they are subjected to on a regular basis, it's hard. It's like, it's hard being my friend. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, yeah, well, you got a taste of it today leading up to this
I've been getting
interview.
a taste of it for a while, but today it's kind of like the frosting on the cake, you know, and I admire you for your work and your courage. And I'm about to jump into, you know, exposing the Vatican. Somehow it's gotten to be my mission. So perhaps we can come and talk again in the future about religion and what is really going on with the Vatican and with the Black Pope and with all these different happenings, because I just feel like I want that to be a platform for me. I just want to go there, but I still have some learning to do and some investigating to do and some question asking to do. So
sure.
I'm
I
excited.
think one of the obvious questions to ask anybody who's Catholic is, can you please explain to me what a massive Egyptian obelisk is doing in the middle of Vatican Square?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you know, we call ourselves Catholics in recovery now. So when you dropped that bomb on me a couple of days ago and you dropped it again, and I said, yeah, what is a massive Egyptian obelisk doing there? I don't freaking know. What? I just discovered the Lucifer. Wait a minute. The telescope that I thought was actually in the Vatican that's not in the freaking Vatican, but like, what the
No, it's in the US. The Lucifer telescope.
Lucifer? For real?
Yeah, owned and run by the Vatican, and they call it Lucifer. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So.
Well, who's Lucifer? You know, what is it really about? Who's Satan? What, you know, we can get into all that.
Yeah.
You know, who is Satan? What is Satan? You know, I'll just leave you with the original meaning of the word. It's not a Latin word, and it's not a Hebrew word. It's an Aramaic word, which is the most ancient form of Hebrew, and it's al-Satan. And the original meaning of the word is the opposer. That's all that word means. The opposer. That's it.
That's it.
So, yeah. So anybody who is in opposition to you is a Satan to you. Right.
I think we need to invent some new words. We were talking, Anais and I were talking about that day. We need to invent some new words, like make them just I don't know. But anyways, well, thank you so much for your time, and it was always an enjoyable experience with you, and hope we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, thanks, Elise. It was fun on my side of things too. I really enjoyed it. You asked some really good questions, and I enjoy that. I really enjoy it. It's always been about the right questions. That's how you get things done.
Right.
And so thank you for that. And I'd love to join you again for another episode when we get the chance. It'll be great.
Great. Thank you. All right.